do what I do.
With Trump returning to the White House, there will be political consequences for those who participated in what many and most of us perceived as politically motivated legal campaign against him. That we see it, don't we? Mm-hmm. And this brother right here understands it. Williams understands. He sees it for what it is. Okay, they knew it. The jig is up. Now let's look at Alvin Bragg for a minute. Let's analyze the situation. I want to break the case down. All right, I want to talk about it. All right, Alvin Bragg. Here we go. Let's take a gander and let's look at this case from a legal perspective. Let's understand what we're dealing with. All right, just so we know. I want to make sure we understand what this brother is doing. Now, Alvin Bragg, as I told you, let me make him a little bigger. There he is. He boldly stepped into the national spotlight in March 2023 when he announced 34 felonies against Donald Trump. And these allegations center on alleged falsification of business records tied to hush money payments made during the 2016 election. It made history as the first criminal prosecution of the U.S. president. Okay? But the problem is, as Trump's political fortunes have rebounded and culminated in his re-election, Bragg now finds himself in an increasingly precarious position. See, the legal and political ramifications of continuing this prosecution are vast and potentially career-ending. Let's take a look. Bragg's case has always rested on a novel, somebody type BS, novel application of state law attempting to elevate a misdemeanor charge. This is a misdemeanor. By linking it to some sort of federal campaign finance violation. All the legal experts criticize this move. It's overly ambitious. And many question whether or not New York state courts even have jurisdiction over federal election laws. Now, Trump's legal team has capitalized on these weaknesses and filed motion to dismiss based on presidential immunity and other constitutional argument. Now, if Bragg, he wants to delay the case for the duration of Trump's presidency. Okay, there's already been a ruling. The jury on these trumped up charges found him guilty. Okay, that just lets you know that a district attorney can find any damn body guilty, even on laws that he just cobbled together himself, which is something you can't do. That's a lack of due process. You can't break a law that wasn't on the book at the time you allegedly broke it. We got laws against. That's just a straight up violation of the due process clause. Okay? But what they're trying to do is say, well, we're going to hold up. We got the ruling, but we're going to hold up to sentence him until 4 years from now. So let me get this straight. You got somebody who's guilty on the books. But what you're going to do is you're going to wait 4 years until he finishes his job, and then you're going to prosecute him. What if somebody had unalived somebody and the jury found him guilty? They put you in cuffs and take you in the back. Okay? To anybody who's had anything to do with the criminal justice system, you know that doesn't make sense. Okay? So Trump's lawyers are planning to escalate the matter. Potentially, they're going to file something called a writ of mandamus. And a writ of mandamus to the appellate court is something that lawyers use to compel the trial judge to do what they're supposed to do anyway. The trial judge's name is Juan Merchan. He's from Colombia, okay? And they want to force him to issue a ruling. And even though he's an American citizen, he's Colombian, born in Colombia. And this is supposed to push the case to the appellate court. And because at this point, you can't just let it hang for 4 years. Even former prosecutors believe that the case is riddled with reversible errors that could lead to dismissal anyway. And that's why they don't want to issue the judgment, because then Trump could immediately appeal. And if he appeals, it's going to be over in a few weeks, a few months. Okay? And then what happens? Now your case is dismissed. You don't have that tiger by the tail anymore. All right? So what's going to be the fallout? Not only is Bragg going to be humiliated and vulnerable to legal retribution, he got a problem. And when you look at Juan Merchan's role, he's supposed to be an unbiased judge. He presided over Trump's trial. And he hasn't escaped scrutiny either. As I said earlier, he's an immigrant from Colombia. And Merchan's impartiality has been questioned due to reports that his daughter's work as a Democratic operative and allegations of bias stemming from his rulings. In other words, she benefits, but that's what they're saying. And Trump himself has publicized and criticized Merchan's, painting him as a part of a larger political vendetta. That's what the Trump is saying about the judge. Okay? Now, while Merchan has tried to maintain the appearance of neutrality, his gag order targeting Trump, that only added to the perception of unfair treatment. What are you afraid of? How are you going to tell somebody not to defend themselves? You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and you telling this innocent man to shut up, don't speak about the case to the public, and all these agencies to talk about him, all these different media outlets can talk about him. See, the stakes for Bragg are not just about professional. It's also about personal. See, with Trump in power, the potential of a federal retaliation looms against him. This is going to be like police fighting police. You understand me? This is police on police. Get your popcorn. Because, see, if the evidence emerges that Bragg coordinated with the Biden White House or any other federal agency in pursuing Trump, it's going to open the door for charges of election interference or conspiracy. And that's a real federal charge. That's damn near treason. You understand? That's a lot of decades in prison and Fed time. Somebody type Fed time in the chat room. In the Fed, if you get 240 months, you're going to do 240 months. So not only are we looking at a possible federal indictment, you also looking at Bragg being disbarred, in prison. Hell, you can't afford your family's going to be broke. And this is a drastic reversal of fortune for a man who sought to make history by being the first person to prosecute a former president. This is what your black behind got into, Bragg. This is a no-win scenario for you, Mr. Bragg. Okay? See, here's the problem that he's in. This is when I say having a tiger by the tail. Some of y'all say, well, why don't he just dismiss the case and just be done with it? Because, see, if he dismisses the case outright, okay, that would then rob him of any leverage that he might have over Trump. And that effectively leaves him defenseless against any potential retribution. See, some say, well, he could use the case as a bargaining chip and offer Trump a quiet resolution in exchange for leniency. You understand what I'm saying? If you just leave me alone for the next 4 years, when you get out of office, we'll just give you like time served or have you do some community service. You can go down to the local Brooklyn YMCA and do your little dance. Okay? That's what Bragg is thinking. But see, this strategy assumes that Bragg holds genuine leverage. And that's a dubious position. See, as the saying goes, holding on the tiger's tail doesn't mean you control the tiger. It only delays the moment it turns on you. See, if Bragg presses forward, the risks multiply. Not only does he face the prospect of a high-profile legal defeat, because it's going to happen. You think Trump's billion-dollar team, Elon, they got plenty of money. Elon Musk, you got that boy from Facebook going down there talking. They got plenty of money, okay? Anybody can pay his attorney's fees. You understand? But I want you to understand, shout out to my man Quan. Are y'all following this? I hope you guys understand. This is get your popcorn, okay? See, not only does he face a legal defeat, a high-profile legal defeat, he also risks deepening his already contentious relationship with Trump and his supporters. Now, you guys remember Johnny Cochran, right? Y'all remember Johnny Cochran? You also remember Chris Darden. You remember how Johnny Cochran rolled up Chris Darden. Chris Darden ain't been right since he lost that O.J. Simpson. He ain't been right since. And him and Marshall Clark, they have not. Imagine what this brother is going to be going through. Okay? Imagine that. Imagine the L he's going to take. And see, Trump's rhetoric has made it very clear that he sees these prosecutions as a personal vendetta. And if you make it personal, he's going to make it personal. And his return to the White House likely means Bragg will be a target of retribution. And for Trump, this case is deeply personal. The gag orders, the courtroom humiliations, the sheer spectacle of being the first former president to be indicted, they've left a scar on this man. Okay? And now with the political wind shifted, Bragg and his team find themselves on the defensive. Trump's Justice Department is expected to purge the federal agencies of those involved in the prosecution against all of his allies and him too. Okay? And Bragg could become a symbolic target in them. They're going to get all the notes. Any notes, any conversations that they had, all of that is public property. All that is going to come into possession of Trump's team. So Alvin Bragg's predicament serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of politicized prosecutions. Okay? It is also a warning to you black folks out there by allowing yourselves to be crash dummies for white folks that want to use you. It's the higher you are, the harder you're going to fall. You understand? See, what began as a historic case now threatens to end in disaster, not only for Bragg, but for the broader legal and political establishment. The lesson is clear. Okay, when you go after the tiger, you better be sure you go after the king. You better be sure you can finish the job. Otherwise, it's a wrap. Now, we talked about Alvin Bragg. Now, what's the other hard-headed? Somebody type Gorilla Grip in the chat room. Somebody type Gorilla Grip in the chat room. Somebody type Gorilla Grip. That's what she called herself. I didn't call her that. That's what her little boyfriend said. He had her name saved in his phone as Gorilla Grip. This has been the hottest mess I've ever seen. Gorilla Grip. That's what the boyfriend, Fonnie Willis' little boyfriend, called her, Gorilla Grip. Hey, that's the number he had saved in the phone. They got the text message. Isn't that just terrible? What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You were tuned in to Uncle D. D's black man talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. Lizard King here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.